Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk Open Forum Political Discussion Show, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, our country is in a dilemma at the moment. Things seem not to be going the way for the current government, and the excesses they are resorting to is a time bomb that may just spark off what is feared by most of us by reason of the country being plunged into chaos. Well, the latest is the former Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, who is the script writer of the contentious, controversial play, A Cause of War, performed by Butere girls, after getting green light from the courts that they should go on and perform on the national level. He's now behind bars for the same, and no clear reason for his arrest. It appears if anything is not going the way of the government, you will be arrested just like it was in the past. So what's cooking with the William Ruto administration? Are we now back fully into the Moi era, where special branch will visit you, you disappear, or special branch will visit you to stop you from going to court or stop you from going to perform whatever it is that you need to perform? What's going on in our country? And is that the only way to deal with such? If the play was that problematic, why was it left to come to the national level? It would have been, denied towards the initial stages, because for the girls to win at the local level, win at the county level, and now they're going to the national level, and then you begin to bring about, stopping them from performing, I think is either a government that is asleep, or somebody just want to frustrate the efforts of Kenyans in their pursuit for having a better country, and a better country that is governed rightly. It appears from all indications that William Ruto and his options are becoming narrower and narrower with every passing day, to say the least. And it seems that he's now resorting to the crude ways of old time in his attempt to keep afloat. But his ship seems to be sinking, and sinking fast. What must William Ruto do to save himself? And is there a way for him to escape this? Well, we can see that from just the recent history. Appreciate all of you that are joining from wherever you are. Please, let's be on the forefront in ensuring that we invite many to join. Now, from just the recent history, the head of NIS speaking about banning the slogan "Ruto must go," the CDF, the head of the defense forces, pronouncing himself on the same. These are signals of a panicked administration that is now resorting to the arm of, using force to stay in power. Now, will this work? And then, of course, now after those two pronouncements that are very, you would say questionable, because those are security apparatus. They are not supposed to participate into the political discourse. How come they're making political pronouncement? So while the Kenyans are still wondering about this, there are other two, drunken, we call them what, horses. That is the Gachagua and the Muturi. manifestations, or rather revelations, are now, putting Kenyans into the proper light. Everything they feared is being confirmed. And with that going on, and now this play about Zakayo must go, then we can tie all those things together and be able to conclude that the panic at State House and the panic at the Ruto administration is enormous. And I think in the attempt to contain it, they are making further wrong moves. And that's why I wonder where these advices are coming from and why they are resorting into the cheap fighting of the messenger, while the message is out there and everybody knows that William Ruto and his administration have not done much in terms of helping Kenyans to enjoy what they are what is rightfully theirs constitutionally. Well, as we start this conversation, I need you on board. Please make use of the link I've put in the comment section to join into the wherever the discourse and give your view about all this. In my opinion, let the constitution lead the country. Let the rule of law prevail, not this aspect of trying to cajole and twist and bend people's hands to cause them to do what you wish, other than what is constitutional and what is valid based on the Bill of Rights as well. And so I really want us to dive deep into the same. And don't forget, the Gachagua Russia fertilizer bombshell seems to put the administration, or rather the Ruto leadership, on defense again. And this doesn't come as a surprise, because Raila Odinga had raised this while the fertilizer had just arrived. And now Gachagua giving more light on the same, on what actually transpired, that the free fertilizer was given to the government. The government gave to the manufacturer to repackage it and improve on it or adjust it. Then after the adjustment, the manufacturer did not hand over the free fertilizer, but sold it to the government, and the government in its part sold it to the farmers, meaning the government is dealing even on grants that are given by international bodies, that we receive things freely, but we sell them instead. What is this that is at play here? Is it that Gachagua is just angry with Ruto and he wants to say whatever he wishes, or there is some truth in this? And if there is truth in this, can William Ruto survive that there are two people right in the midst of his administration testing to the corruption and the fears that Kenyans have been having? Will William Ruto find an explanation out of this, or he's doomed? We need to know what you think, and as you express yourself. So be on the lookout to join into the discourse. We are live on Sound Candy Talk YouTube channel, Sound Candy Talk Live YouTube channel, as well as Facebook and TikTok. Mahala popote unatupata, tafadhali tuambie ni wapi hapo kwa comment tu, na kama unatupata kwa njia iliyo mufti ama kuna mushkili, pia utueleze, tutaweza kurekebisha. Nairobi kuna mvua, na hiyo ikifika basi unajua Wandai na stima yake wanaanza kutuchezea. Kwa hivyo naomba tafadhali fanya hima kuwahi kwa studio tukaongee kabla mabadiliko yaanze kutokea, ambayo yanaweza kuwa kinyume na kile ambacho tunafanya. Lakini cha muhimu hapa ni kuangazia masuala haya. Huku kuna Gachagua anasema fertilizer iko vile baba alisema, ilikuwa ni ya free, lakini serikali ikafanya nini? Ikafanya biashara nayo. Haya, hiyo ikiwa hivyo, Malala huyo ambaye ni mwalimu kabla akuwe senator ama kuwe mwanasiasa, so alikuwa anaongoza hiyo masuala ya drama. Sasa hivi ameandika hiyo play inaitwa Echoes of War, na sasa serikali inataka kuzuia au waigizaji kutekeleza hiyo jukumu lao la sanaa ambayo inapaswa kuonyesha tunakaaje kama katika nchi. So tuanze na hiyo story ya Malala tunapoendelea na mjadala, lakini usitazame kipindi peke yako, tafadhali karibisha mtu tumakinike kwa pamoja. Let's start with the drama of the arrest of Cleophas Malala.
Okay, Shege. We're going to begin with live pictures right now. You're going to be seeing these pictures out of Nakuru. A school play entitled Echoes of War by Butere Girls High School in Kakamega County is at the heart of an unfolding nighttime drama in Rongai in Nakuru County. Police have surrounded playwright Cleophas Malala's vehicle to stop him from accessing Kirobon Girls High School, where he intended to oversee rehearsals for the play, which is meant to be performed Thursday at Lions Primary School in Nakuru, where the 63rd annual Kenya National Drama Festivals are taking place. We are now joined by Marianne Nyambura from Nakuru. What is the drama all about, Marianne? There's a lot of tear gas being thrown around. Marianne probably can't get to us right now. We'll get to her when we can. But a lot of tear gas, police throwing at the scene. It's drama. Check out those pictures. Lots of drama. Take a look.
Asiba.
And the journalists who are there, who are live, police are tossing tear gas, lobbing tear gas at them to prevent them from filming the scenes behind this play, Echoes of War.
Narrate. A very good evening, Jeff. Well, indeed, what is happening right now is that police officers here in Kirobon, Rongai Sub-County, Nakuru, are actually throwing tear gas canisters towards us as journalists. Well, what transpired is that Cleophas Malala, who's the former Kakamega senator, as well as former SG UDA, is the scriptwriter for a certain play, Echoes of War, that was controversially dropped, actually.
Marianne, it looks like Marianne is right in the middle of that tear gas incident. And Marianne, if you can hear me, please stay safe. Please stay safe and get away from that mess. We need you to be safe out there. We don't want any heroes. See the live scenes right there at Kirobon in Nakuru County. Police still lobbing tear gas at journalists, no less, preventing them from reporting this very important story.
3 journalists assaulted. Seriously. 3 journalists assaulted.
Stay safe, Marianne. If you can hear me, stay safe. Get out of there if you can.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from Nakuru, where there is all manner of drama opening up. This is a secondary school, or it's a national drama festival, and it all involves students and their teachers. So why should you take the whole army there in the pretext that you want to prevent a play from being performed at the national level? Look at the kind of force that is being unleashed on the journalists for reporting what's happening. I mean, has now Malala become a terrorist that is invaded in the night and all of it, that he cannot preside over a rehearsal of a play? Tunarudi nyuma ama tunakwenda mbele? Nashukuru, naona mzee Jakindu ashaingia. Vipi dadi?
Sana Bernard. Salama sana Bernard. Hujambo?
Si jambo. Karibu, wewe ndio mhubiri wa ukoloni mambo leo.
Bernard, nikikwambia kwamba hakuna kitu tunasema eti tuko na demokrasi, sijui tuko na uhuru. Hakuna. Sisi wote ni wakoloni. Jomo Kenyatta alikuwa na serikali kama hii. Moi alikuwa na serikali kama hii tu, alikuwa anafanyia watu hivi. Kibaki the same, Uhuru juzi the same, Ruto the same. Sasa nikisema kwamba watu wetu sisi wa Kenya hatujui maana ya uhuru, tuko tu busy na tuko tu tunajishughulisha na ukabila, ni kabila langu, na unasahau kwamba tuko chini ya ukoloni. Hawa ni wakoloni. Ni kwamba ile tu hakuna rangi ndio imetoka. Kwa sababu unaweza kuniambia ni kitu gani ambayo hawa watu hawatufanyii vile, kitu gani wazungu walikuwa wanafanya hawa watufanyii? Mtu aniambie ni kitu gani? Mzungu alikuwa anatukataza kufanya chochote kile, tukitaka kufanya hata mchezo au nini alikuwa anatukataza. Sasa kwa mfano, hiyo mchezo wa kuigiza unakatazaje mtu? Unakataza mtu namna gani kufanya mchezo wa kuigiza? Kwa sababu ni kitu tu anaigiza, na hizo michezo huwa zinafunza watu aidha kutobagua au kutokuwa na tabia mbaya. Hiyo ndio maana kitu kama hiyo ipo. Hizi sinema saa zingine tunaenda kuziona. Tuliona sinema ya Steve Biko. Ilikuwa ni wakoloni walikuwa wananani watu. Tumeona sinema nyingi. Hata vile wa Amerika wale weusi walikuwa wanafanyiwa. Hata Kenya tumeona vile wazungu walikuwa wanatufanyia. Kwa nini hiyo hatuwezi Malala hawezi kuachwa aonyeshe hiyo mchezo? Maana mchezo wa kuigiza si kitu kama kweli ninyi ni watu huru, unawezaje kukataza mtu? Na mtu nasema demokrasia unamkataza mtu namna gani? Kitu kama hiyo inaweza wa edit. Kama wangesema sehemu hii hatutaki, waende pale waseme Malala, sehemu hii ndio hatutaki, sehemu hii tunaona labda inaweza kuleta. Hiyo ndio kitu ya maana, yani kumwambia yule kitu ambacho labda inaweza kuleta shauku au labda haitafaa kwa watoto au kwa watu. Lakini huwezi kuchukua tear gas unaenda huko na bunduki, unaenda na ni mchezo ambao inaigizwa na watoto. Sasa maana yake ni nini? Sasa ndio maana nasema Bernard, sisi kusema kweli, ukiangalia zile vitu wazungu walikuwa wanatufanyia bado zinafanywa mpaka leo. Sasa hiyo uhuru na hiyo demokrasia tunasema iko wapi? Iko wapi? Kila siku Raila amewaambia watokeni kwa hii mambo ya upuzi. Watu hawaelewi, wanaona Raila kama ndio mbaya. Raila akisema okay, wacha nifuate huyo mtu ambaye mnasema ni nani, wanasema tena mbaya. Sasa hizi mambo za fertilizer ambazo mnasema, hiyo mambo ya fertilizer, hata Malala, hawa kina Malala wenyewe ndio walikuwa na support UDA. Hawa DCA alikuwa secretary wa UDA. So inakuwaje leo hiyo UDA imemgeuka? Walikuwa wanasema hao ndio watu wenye demokrasia, wataleta maendeleo. Iko wapi? Iko wapi hiyo maendeleo? Hiyo maendeleo ndio hiyo matiagas. Kwa sababu Bernard, tiagas inatakiwa iwe ni mwiko, iwe ni kitu ambayo tunasema mwiko kufuatilia Waafrika wenzako, Wakenya wenzako, kwa sababu hizi ni silaha ambazo wazungu walikuwa wanatuua nazo, walikuwa wanatudhulumu nazo. Sasa sisi tunakuaje tena hayo mambo tunarudi tunadhulumu nayo wenzetu? Sasa hiyo ni kusema kwamba sisi hata tukisema demokrasi hatujui maana ya demokrasi, hata tukisema utawala hatujui maana ya kujitawala, hatujui. Ndio maana nilikuwa nasema hizi hata ma constitution tunafuata ma constitution ambayo hatujui maana yake, hatujui zinafanywa nini, hatujui ni za nini, kwa sababu ziko tu pale kama makaratasi au vitabu, lakini hakuna mtu anazifuata, kwa sababu demokrasia kama hiyo yetu inamkubalia mtu yoyote kusema chochote au kufanya mchezo wowote. Kama serikali haipendi, inatakiwa ifanye editing. Ndio maana iko kile inaitwa editing. Mnaweza kuedit mnani sehemu zingine, mseme hii sio nzuri, hii na huyo mtu, hata kama unaandika vitabu, hata kama unaandika habari za magazeti, huwa kuna editors ambao wataziangalia waone hii si nzuri, hii si nzuri, hii si nzuri. So hawa kina Malala walichagua hiyo serikali na yeye alikuwa secretary. Leo sasa imekuwa, ndio maana unikisema hawa watu ni wanafiki, mnasema Jakindu Bey narudia kwa sababu vitu ambavyo wanafanya, wanaambiwa hawa watu ni wabaya, hii kitu ni kibaya, wewe mwenyewe unasema hapana ni kizuri. Alafu sasa hiyo mkuki ikikuchoma, wakati unachoma nayo nguruwe ni safi, lakini sasa hiyo mkuki ikikuchoma unaanza kulia, kupiga mayowe. Kwa sababu ngoja tu niseme hata ya Gachagua, Bernard. Gachagua sahi anatuambia mambo ya mbolea. Atatuambiaje mambo ya mbolea? Yeye Gachagua alikuwa ana defend hiyo mambo ya mbolea. Na hiyo mambo ya mbolea ukiangalia ni kwamba inaongozwa na wezi. Na hata Gachagua mwenyewe ni mwizi, ambayo yeye mwenyewe alipatikana na pesa ambazo hazikuwa zinafaa, lakini si alirudishiwa hiyo pesa na huyo mwenzake. So inakuwa ni vigumu sana hawa watu kuamini hayo mambo ambayo wanasema ni ukweli kabisa. Ni ukweli kwamba walifanya nini? Waliiba. Kwa sababu ukiangalia kwamba tunaletewa msaada, alafu hiyo msaada tena unauzia wananchi, hiyo sasa maana yake nini? Unauzia kwanza, anauziwa mtu hapa middleman, alafu middleman hiyo anauzia serikali inauzia wananchi. Sasa hiyo ni wizi mtupu. Unaiba raia wenzako, raia wako ambao unatakiwa walinde, kitu wamepewa bure, alafu tena unaiba. Sasa hiyo maana yake ni nini? So hawa watu wote, hata saa zingine nikiangalia watu vile wanamfuata Gachagua, naona sisi wa Kenya kwa kweli hatuelewi, kwa sababu huyu ni mwizi kama Ruto. Hiyo wote ni sehemu moja. So anaposema namna hiyo, inatakiwa watuambie hizo vitu, tufanye uchunguzi, tujue hizo vitu nani aliuziwa na hizo pesa ziko wapi. Hiyo ndio kitu itakuwa muhimu. Asante sana Bernard.
Okay, thank you Jakindu Bey. We appreciate a good start indeed, and raising questions that Kenyans must respond to. Tuko katika ukoloni mambo leo, yani tumekataa kabisa kuokolewa na dhana ya zamani ambazo hazifai ikifika kwa masuala ya utawala. Badala tuongoze nchi, tumekuwa watu wa kukandamiza wenzetu na kuwadunisha ili tuendelee kuwatawala. Na kwangu mimi naelewa leadership ni ile hali ya kuongoza na kuchochea nchi ikafanikiwe katika mambo ambayo si ya kawaida, lakini inaonekana tunapenda sana mambo ya baki vile alikuwa ama yarudi kule tumetoka pasipo kwenda na kusonga mbele. Being criticized and being pointed out when you are doing what is wrong, that should be an advantage and not a disadvantage. And now this application of force to try and mold people in a particular way of thinking and in a particular way of operation, in my opinion, is uncalled for. It is a manifestation of the incompetence of William Ruto, that he is unable to govern the country. He's unable to carry all Kenyans along. He's unable to help the country move forward. And therefore, he's busy dragging it to go backward where we have been. And I think Kenyans will not have any of it. And as things look, there is still much more that needs to be done in terms of proving Kenyans otherwise on the matters of the competence of William Ruto and his ability to respond to what bedevils this country. Look at what he's been wasting money over. We have wasted a lot of money on hunting down the bloggers and the social media people who are criticizing the government. For that abduction squad and the chasing after these individuals, abducting them, keeping them incognito and all that, it is all money being spent. And then, of course, the PR that is forever operating, running around with 20 choppers, going to launch something for 2 million and things like that. So this mess we are in, it is self-inflicted in the sense that it is William Ruto causing the problem, and it is William Ruto pretending to be solving the problem. And in the process, he's lying with everything that he has and everything that he is. In my opinion, as Kenyans, we need to wake up and begin to tell each other the truth. What William Ruto is doing is unconstitutional, unacceptable, and people should rise up and tell him no. We cannot go back to the dark days when people were disappearing, and then, of course, the government was operating by force in everything. They want to force education. They want to force healthcare. They want to force fear. They want to force respect. They want to force honor. That is not how the government and the countries are governed today. We must change tag if we want to have better results. So we'll still go back on that same Malala story, and then we look into the Mombasa demolition by the army. I understand one person's life was lost in the building beginning to sink, but now that has been put to rest after the army successfully brought down the building, safeguarding the other buildings that were adjacent to the same. So this Cleopas Malala's story is not going. Let's hear it from the other version, and then we dive into the history of this and how we can combat it successfully.
Once again, thank you for making time. Join us till the tail end of the broadcast. Joining us on sign language interpretation is Meresha Owiti, and I'm Jesse Rogers. Let's kickstart the broadcast with a breaking story now. And police in Nakuru are currently holding former Senator Cleophas Malala as he tried to visit Butere Girl students performing at the ongoing National Drama Festivals. Cleophas Malala has found himself at the center of a row over a play he allegedly scripted for the girls' school. For details about this, let's link up with our reporter in Nakuru, Ken Gashohi. Gashuhi, good evening. What exactly has transpired? Is Cleophas Malala under arrest? And if so, what charges is he facing?
Well, it's not even a good evening here in Nakuru County because the police have tried to arrest former senator for Kakamega County, Cleophas Malala. But at the moment where we are camping, Mr. Malala is inside this vehicle here, but he has locked himself up after the police tried to arrest him. But at the moment we have police officers trying to harass us. My camera person, Peter Kimani, has been assaulted. I have been tear gassed. I had to rush and try to rescue some of my colleagues, and the police have just retreated just a few seconds away when they realized that we had started this live broadcast. All this is coming courtesy of the Echoes of War play that was to be staged tomorrow in the Kenya National Drama Festivals that are being held here in Nakuru. The Echoes of War is a controversial play that was written by former Senator Cleophas Malala. At the moment, Mr. Malala is here. He was trying to access Kirobon Girls High School here, where the students from Butere High School were trying. Here is the tear gas. Move. Songeni, guys. Just watch out. Sorry for that. This is what is happening actually here, but we are still watching out to see. Watch out.
All right, that's our Nakuru reporter, Ken Gashuhi, who is in the thick of it as drama is escalating, as the former Senator Cleophas Malala is trying to access the Butere Girl students who are set to perform the controversial Echoes of War play tomorrow at the Nakuru Drama Festivals. Of course, the jury's out on whether this move by the government to try and stop the play is retrogressive, but as members of the Fourth Estate, we are laboring to ensure you're up to date with what exactly is transpiring in Nakuru ahead of that play that is scheduled to go to stage tomorrow. Gashuhi, kindly stay safe. Let's just listen in to the drama that is ensuing at that particular area.
Just as you can see, the police are trying to get us away from the scene where Senator Malala is currently holed up. He is being surrounded by at least 7 police vehicles and dozens of police officers who are still trying to get to arrest him. Actually, they have not stated which crime he has committed, but they are trying their way best to ensure that he does not leave the school premises. But still, we are still waiting to see what will be developing here in the next few minutes, because we have seen some of them starting their vehicles.
Okay, Gashuhi, kindly stay safe as you labor to bring us up to speed with the very latest that is transpiring in Nakuru in the backdrop of the drama festivals that are being held in Nakuru County. This whole fracas is ensuing since it is alleged that the former Senator Cleophas Malala allegedly scripted that play, which is touching on the Gen Z protest and some of the issues that played out last year following the finance bill. We'll definitely keep you updated if the Butere Girls students will be able to perform tomorrow, because they were scheduled to perform tomorrow morning at the Nakuru Drama Festivals. Let's shift focus now. The country is still reeling from shock after 2 female members of parliament were caught on camera.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We are back into the dark days where nothing that the government does not approve will go unnoticed. 27 vehicles, that is taxpayers' money, all of it going to arrest your former Secretary General in a school compound where students are camping and there is tear gas being lobbied everywhere. What is this? I mean, don't we have a sense of responsibility? What crime is this that you unleash 7 police vehicles, a contingent of police officers to go and arrest 1 person? Doesn't that even in itself show that we are a weak government and we are a weak country? That arresting one former Secretary General, we unleash a whole police force and 7 vehicles. What is this? Jakindu Bay. Hii ndio vile serikali inafanya kazi kweli?
Hiyo Bernard, unaona tu hiyo ni uko hakuna unajua, unasema eti tunarudi nyuma, eti tunarudi darkness. Siku gani tulikuwa kwa mwanga? Lini? Niambie hizi lini hiyo tulikuwa kwa mwanga. Nijue. Kwa sababu labda mimi sija, maana yake mimi sioni siku tumekuwa kwa mwanga. Tuko tu kwa giza. Tunakaaga tu, tumevumilia tu hiyo giza. Tuko wapi hiyo mwanga? Tunajaribu kuzungumza tu. Mtu ambaye anaweza kujaribu mimi nawasemaga mtu ambaye huwa anajaribu kuzungumza uko ila tu, hao watu wengine wote hakuna. Na kwa sababu tunaongozwa na wale watu ambao ni wakoloni, watu ambao hawataki watu. Angalia, Kenyatta alikuwa ni mkoloni, Moi alikuwa mkoloni, Kibaki alikuwa mkoloni. Watu wanamsifu, Kibaki alileta sijui alileta bodaboda alileta, alafu alifanya nini? Alikuwa mkoloni tu. Aliua watu wangapi walikufa katika wakati wa utawala wake? Aliiba uchaguzi, kama kila mtu anaona ulimwengu mzima. Aliapishwa usiku. Huyo ndio mtu watu wanamsifu bure kabisa. Uhuru Musando wameua pale. Hiyo kweli tulikuwa wapi? Tukiwaambia Wakenya tuchague watu ambao wanataka mabadiliko, watu ambao wamepigania mabadiliko, hawataki, wanataka kuchagua wale ambao ni wanaitwa home guards, ndio wanataka kuchagua. Sasa kama unachagua wale watu ambao wanapenda hizo serikali za kugandamiza, Wakenya tutaendelea namna gani? Tukiwaambia tuchagueni watu ambao ni watu ambao wana yani unaweza kusema wana mapinduzi, watu ambao wanataka tufanye mambo tofauti na vile wakoloni walikuwa wanafanya. Wakenya wanakataa, hawataki, wanataka tu the same watu. Unajua kama hii mambo ya Ruto ni mambo unaweza hata saa zingine unafikiria kama ulie, kwa sababu Ruto waliambiwa, hata Uhuru mwenyewe aliwaambia, jamani, mimi nawasihi huyu jamaa hapana, huyu jamaa msifanye tafadhali. Sasa saa hii wanaona hayo mambo yote. Hawa kina Gachagua walisupport hiyo, walivuruga Uhuru, wakaenda hata wakaua mbuzi zake. Hawa kina Gachagua walienda wakaua mbuzi za Uhuru, kwa sababu Uhuru alikuwa anawaambia msichague huyu jamaa. Sasa hao wanakuja kutuambia, huyu jamaa ameiba, amefanya hivi. Haya mambo walikuwa wanaiba na yeye. Tunakubali hiyo ni mambo ya ukweli, lakini wasiseme kwamba huyo ndiye ameiba peke yake. Waliiba pamoja. Manake huyo angeiba na wao wanaona. Kwa sababu huyu tu amewasukuma nje, amewafuta. Ndio maana sasa wanaona hiyo uchungu. Bernard, ukiachana na bibi yako, mkiachana, kila mmoja atasema ubaya wa mwenzake, hata kama kuna mmoja wao alikuwa mzuri. So hawa jamaa, mimi nasema hawa jamaa, akina Muturi, akina akina Gachagua, wote na Ruto ni sampuli moja. Tunafurahi anatuambia sasa kwamba hii na hii na hii na hii ilikuwa inafanyika. Hiyo ni sawa, lakini asifikirie, kwa maoni yangu, asifikirie eti aseme hivyo ndio sasa tumuone ni mtu mzuri. Hapana, ni mtu mbaya. Kama angekuwa mtu mzuri angejiuzulu. Kama ni mtu alikuwa anataka mabadiliko angeona kwamba nataka mabadiliko, lakini hawa watu ni watu ambao hawataki mabadiliko. Wakiambiwa tuchagueni mtu ambaye, wale watu ambao wanapenda mabadiliko hawataki. Mfano ni mtu mmoja anaitwa Raila, wanamuonea Raila, akiwaambia hii kitu ni mbaya wanasema hapana. Raila akikubali na vile wanasema umetusaliti, na amewasihi. Hata juzi tu hapa aliwapatia 6,000, wanakataa 6,000, wanaenda kwa ya kukopa. It's crazy wa Kenya. Bernard.
Yes, sir.
Sisi tunatakiwa tuokoke, tuombe, tuende kanisani, tutubu dhambi zetu, ndio nchi yetu iendelee. Tuache tujue kwamba hakuna siku moja tumekuwa katika hali ya mwangaza. Tumekuwa tu kwa giza, kwa sababu tumekuwa tunatawaliwa na wakoloni. Asante Bernard.
Asante Jakindube. Lakini kifupi tu kabla Lala aingilie, tukisema back to the dark days, najua wewe umekuwa hapa kabla ya ukoloni, kwa serikali ya ukoloni, serikali ya kwanza, serikali ya pili, ya tatu na ya 4 mpaka saa hii tuko kwa ya 5. Na katika hii serikali zote licha ya kuwa kulikuwa na limited space time ya Jomo Kenyatta, limited space hiyo limited space ikafinywa sana wakati wa Moi. Wakati sisi tulikuwa shuleni ilikuwa ni hatia watu watatu kupatikana wakiongea, hata wao wakiongea kuhusu mboga na githeri, mlikuwa mnabebwa juu kwa juu. Yani tukawa na police state ambayo kila mtu alikuwa anaishi kwa hofu, na watu wengi tu wakapotea na kuwawa. Ile of course the Nyayo Chambers, kule whatever, detention without trial and those things. So time ya Kibaki tulikuwa na hayo kiasi, na time ya Uhuru, lakini ile ilikuwa ambayo ni hatari sana ilikuwa time ya Moi. So tukisema kurejea nyuma, we are referring to comparing, not that we were absolutely clean or absolutely free, but ilikuwa afueni kiasi wakati wa Kibaki, then afueni wakati wa Uhuru. Lakini sasa inaonekana hizo freedom zote aswa zile tulikuwa tumepata kwa sababu ya 2010 constitution zote sasa zinafutiliwa mbali. Tunaona kama kwa mfano wakati Uhuru alitaka BBI na Raila na koti ikakataa, Uhuru aliachana naye, lakini kwa Ruto koti ikikataa, anarudisha hiyo kitu kwa bunge, anashurutisha wabunge wabadilishe vitu, warudishe kotini, koti ikubali. So kuna ile kulazimisha kila kitu ikubalike, hata kama imekwenda kinyume na sheria, wataenda kufanya ukarabati hiyo sheria ifanye kana kwamba inakubalika, ili kile Ruto anataka mpaka Ruto apate. So hapo ndio tunasema hivi, constitution ndio inatawala nchi ama ni mtu? Na kama tunatawaliwa na huyu mtu nia yake ni gani? Kwa sababu ya uongozi ni kulinda watu na kulinda mali ya watu, sio ku terrorize watu. Sasa kama hii wanafunzi wamesafiri, sisi ni wazazi, my daughter is in Nakuru right now, she's performing, okay? So mimi nitakuwa na wasiwasi kwa sababu tear gas is everywhere, police is everywhere, na watoto wa primary na wa secondary wako huko. Itakuwaje kuna serikali ambayo inatumia nguvu kama hiyo katika compound kule, watoto they are camping away from their parents, away from their teachers. They just went with their drama school or teacher or whatever the case. So hivi ndio utawala ambao unafaa, ama ni vile kuna ile inaitwa nini, wasiwasi ya serikali? Kwa sababu hatuwezi kufanya vitu kama hivi kama hatuogopi. ama tuko na wasiwasi kwamba tukiachilia mambo yaende hivi tutatimuliwa? Wewe unaonaje kwa dakika moja, alafu mlete Lala, sio Malala?
Asante Bernard. Mimi nataka kukwambia hivi, wakati wa Kenyatta tulikuwa hatukuwa na mahali pa kupumzi ilikuwa hakuna. Watu wengi sana waliuawa ambao walikuwa wanajaribu kusema hapana, au walikimbia. Wengi walikimbia. Wakati huo kitu tu ilikuwa nzuri ni kwamba kazi zilikuwa bado ziko nyingi. Mtu ukija unapata kazi, lakini hungeweza kusema. Kama ulijaribu tu kusema unapotea. Ninaweza kukwambia Kungu Karuma alipotea kwa sababu alisema. Akina watu wengi, akina Kagia alinyamazishwa completely. Akina Gama Pinto alijaribu kuzungumza, alikula risasi. Ukilikuwa ukijaribu, akina Mboya walikuwa wanaonekana walikula risasi. JM aliwaambia aliwako wapi? Ilikuwa ni wakati wa giza. Sasa kama hao wameshakula risasi, ninyi wote mnanyamaza. Wakati wa Moi ilionekana kwa sababu watu walianza kufanya nini? Kuchoka na hii maonevu. Watu walishakuwa wameanza kuchoka, na watu wengi kiasi walishakuwa wanajua kwamba bado tunafinywa, tumefinywa zaidi. Ndio maana wakati wa Moi ilionekana kwamba kuna nani. Na wakati wa Kibaki mnaweza kusema kulionekana kwamba kuna nafasi, kwa sababu katika hiyo serikali walikuwa wawili, na hata katika hiyo serikali kulikuwa na mtu ambaye anataka mabadiliko, ambaye alikuwa ni Raila na Kibaki. Kwa hiyo wakati huo mtu angeweza kuzungumza. Lakini unakumbuka wakati Nation iliandika, sijui ni Standard iliandika juu ya bibi yake, what happened? Kitu gani ilifanyika? Si alistorm hiyo sehemu na akaivuruga, na kitu gani ilifanyika? Hakuchukuliwa hatua yoyote, nothing happened. So hakuna siku tumekuwa katika hali ya nini ya kusema ati sasa imefanyika hivi. Wakati wa BBI ni kwa sababu Uhuru walikuwa na Raila, na Raila hangekubali kufanyika. Maana yake Raila ni mtu anataka mabadiliko, haungekubali kitu ifanywe kwa nguvu, kwa sababu ingekuwa hakuna maana ile kitu anapigania kwamba tuwe huru. Ndio maana hiyo kitu ilifanyika hivyo. Lakini hata wakati wa uhuru, mtu yoyote ambaye alikuwa anajaribu kupinga, uliona Msando aliwawa mchana, sio mchana, hadharani tukiona. Mpaka leo kuna mtu anajua Msando aliwawa kwa nini? Hakuna. Kuna investigation imefanywa? Hakuna. Na wakati wa uhuru ndio tuliletewa hata zile magari ya kumwagia watu maji ya sumu, kitu ambayo mimi silikuwa sijaona kwa maisha yangu tangu tupate uhuru. Hata wakati wa baba yake hakuleta hiyo, hata wakati wa Moi hakununua hiyo. Hiyo ni vitu zilikuwa South Africa ndio tulikuwa tunaona hizo vitu. So hizo vitu tumenunua kwa sababu ya kunyanyasa watu wetu. Ilinunuliwa na Uhuru na Ruto. So huwezi kuniambia ati kwamba ati tumekuwa na mwangaza. Hakuna. Ni saa zingine watu tu wanakuwa wanavumilia, lakini hatujakuwa na mwangaza, kwa sababu kama tuna uhuru hatuwezi kufanya vitu kama Bernard, vitu kama tear gas. Hizo vitu tulikuwa tunafanywa na wazungu, zinatakiwa ziwe marufuku. Hatuwezi kukubali vitu kama hizo tena zifanywe wa Afrika. Angalia kwa mwalimu, ngumu sana kwa mwalimu hapa jirani, ngumu sana kuona eti gari imenunuliwa ya kumwagia wananchi sumu. Wapi gani? Hata hiyo tear gas, mimi nilikuwa mtoto mdogo, nilikuja kuona tear gas Kenya, ndio niliona kitu inaitwa tear gas. Tanzania sikujua kwamba kuna kitu inaitwa tear gas, kwa sababu ilikuwa hakuna mahali polisi wanakuja kupiga wananchi. Hakuna. So hii ni uhuru gani tunayo? Tuko chini ya giza, isipokuwa sisi wa Kenya hatujui maana ya kuwa huru, hatujui. Na hiyo ndio kitu inatakiwa tujue, kwamba ndio maana nasema tuchague mtu ambaye anapenda mabadiliko. Wale watu ambao wamepigania mabadiliko, hawa watu ambao tumechagua siku zote, hawa ni watu ambao hawakupenda mabadiliko. Asante sana Bernard.
All right, thank you Jakindube. Lala, rejea, naomba ukarejee tu, ungependa kuona kusikiliza wewe unaonaje mambo haya. Naomba tafadhali pia karibisha mtu. Namba ya watazamaji inaendelea kudidimia, naomba tumakinike kushare link ili wengi tu wa join na wakajifunze kutokana na masuala tunayoyazungumza. Sense of responsibility, I keep insisting on that. Serikali inapaswa kuweka mstari wa mbele usalama wa watu, usalama wa wananchi, lakini inaonekana usalama wa wananchi haujapewa kipaumbele. Angalia vile wanahabari wanapigwa na tear gas, wanafurushwa, kuna giza, kuna wanahabari kina dada hapo, kuna wanahabari vijana hapo, wote wanafukuzwa kana kwamba ni hawako katika nchi yao. Ni kipi ambacho kimekwenda mrama na nchi hii mpaka watu wanafanya mambo ambayo hayafai na wanajua hayafai? Kwa nini hamtaki? Kama yale mnafanya ni halali, mbona mtaki wanahabari wapeperushe? Kama hayo mnafanya ni kufuata sheria, mbona tena mnaona haya wakati wanahabari wanasimulia yale ambayo mnatekeleza? Kile ambacho kinaendelea katika nchi hii, naomba kila Mkenya asimame na aseme ukweli. Kama Ruto ameshindwa kuongoza nchi, let him step down. Hata kwa wa kwanza, kuna marais wengi tu wame step down kwa sababu mambo ilikwenda mrama. So there is no laws in that. It's more honorable to do that other than you keeping insisting, and now you're putting our children at risk. You're going to look for one person as if you're looking for a terrorist. 7 vehicles chasing after one man. Come on, let's wake up as Kenyans and do the necessary. This administration needs to be called to order. Thank you very much. Let's hear from Lala. Malala, ndugu yako ako taabani, vipi?
Asante Bernard na Jakindube na wenzetu ambao wako huko nyuma. Amjambo. Nimeingia nikaanza kusikia vile mnazungumza, na mimi ningesema change, mabadiliko inakuja kwa njia mbili. The first one ndio mzungumzia Bernard, kwamba Ruto ajiuzulu. Okay? That is a very civilized way. Jakindube has been saying it, and many of us have been saying it. Kama mtu ameshindwa na kazi, anajiuzulu. Kama awezi, anajiuzulu. Na wakati mwingine wanajiuzulu lakini watarudia baadaye. Parliamentarian system has that inbuilt, kwamba mtu anaweza kuacha kwa sababu things are not working well, organization si ifanyi kazi mzuri, lakini atarudia. Okay? In other words, the reset of our system depends on how well the leaders are leading us and how the system is functioning. Okay? Kujiuzulu could simply mean the economy is not doing well. Alafu nasema, I thought was able to revive this economy, but based on vile naona where things are, najiuzulu. Okay? It could be a scandal. Something has happened, and based on that scandal, unajiuzulu. The second one, kuleta mabadiliko ni sisi wenyewe kama wananchi. And we see it happening around the globe. Watu wanasema, this guy is not doing a good job, a vote of no confidence. And usually when you see a leader, resigning or stepping away, they know that vote is coming their way. So to save the face, wanna resign because people have resolved to do it. But to me, our focus is on Ruto must resign, but there is nothing to make sure that is pushed over. So it's taking advantage of our ignorance, our disorganization, our own guilt, or our own confusion, or our own crime, because all we are looking for is to step on other people. We want something so that somebody else can be suffering. Okay, we don't want it. It's like exams in Kenya. Exams are done to take people out. Okay, some people, in other words, kuna nafasi chache tu, so unataka ku squeeze watu out of those choices because you don't have enough. So they are actually more punitive, yani ku weed out. While where I am, exam is to prove, to help you go forward. Okay, so hapa kwetu Kenya, shida yetu ni kwamba wale ambao ni wakubwa, they know exactly that they are not fighting for the system to be open to everybody, but they are fighting for themselves. So these leaders know. So all they need to do is to give them something, kama kuku ambaye unapatia mahindi kidogo, wanaingia pale, wanaanza kula, then they get trapped. Most of us get trapped because we are so hungry for things. We want to fly in those choppers. We want to get those 8Vs, whatever you call them. They want that power, and that's all they're looking for. So most Kenyans, heaven si mbinguni kule tunaenda huko. Heaven ni hapo parliament, heaven ni hiyo 8V, hapo wamefika kabisa. Nitatoa hadithi fulani. Siku zile za slavery days, kulikuwa na mweusi moja alikuwa slave. Hasa alikuwa anafanya huyu mzungu kama slave wake, lakini mzungu alikuwa anampenda sana. Akamwambia, wewe zidi kufanya kazi nzuri, manake ukifanya kazi nzuri, ukizidi kufanya vile unafanya, wewe utafanya nini? Utazikwa pale ambapo sisi wazungu tunazikwa. Manake huku wanazikwa, kwa Afrika walikuwa kama tu wanatupa mwili huko, lakini kwa wazungu ndio good, with their tombstone and good place and clean. People even go there in the West here. People go in those cemeteries to have their lunch before they go back to work. It's very nice, very decent. Okay, but the black people who were buried was, crazy. Just dig a grave, weke huko ndani. Sasa huyu mzungu akamwambia huyu slave wake, mtumwa, kwamba ukizidi kufanya kazi nzuri, wewe utakuwa kama wale weusi wengine. Mwili wako mimi nitafanya hivi izikwe na mimi hapa. Sasa alikuwa nafikiria huyu mweusi atafurahia sana kusikia kwamba yeye atafanya nini, atazikwa pale pazuri, atakuwa na tombstone, jina lake atakuwa atazidi kujulikana, so aendelee kufanya kazi nzuri. Lakini alisema, akajibu mzungu, akamwambia masa, because they can't say master, they used to call it masa. Masa, work, me, do, good. Because couldn't speak good English, so I'll do good job, nitakufanyia kazi nzuri kabisa, lakini kuzikwa, sitaki kuzikwa karibu na wewe. Mzungu akashtuka, utaki kuzikwa na mimi? Unataka kuzikwa kule utakulwa na huko umbwa huko? Akasemwambia, ni kweli kabisa masa, manake mimi mwili yangu sitaki chukuliwe na shetani, manake najua shetani akija, they might mistake your body for mine. they might mistake hiyo mwili yako for mine, alafu wachukue. Manake alikuwa anajua kabisa shetani anakuja vanyi kuchukua mwili ya huyu jamaa ndio mzungu, manake alikuwa cruel. And to me, Kenyans have decided to be buried on one side, and they don't care anything beyond that day. But this slave knew, even though I'm buried on the black side where there's nothing there and it doesn't matter how I'm buried, I know I have a hope and have a future. In other words, he was looking beyond the grave, beyond here. Our people do not look beyond tomorrow. They don't think about our kids. How are they going to be? What kind of world are we living for them? Can we invest into our future? Can we not steal and do the right thing? And so when you look at this Gashaguas and others, they are doing the same thing. In fact, Malala is another interesting one because just the other day, he was for Ruto number one. He knew exactly these people are not right, but it's as if he had arrived. He has so much power. Alikuwa amefika mbingu, you know. So he was the older people like Baba, the people did not really respect them, Mudavadi and others, alikuwa anajiona kama yeye ndio lawyer kingpin. Alikuwa amefika mbinguni. Okay? But look at what's going on now. He is woken up, coming back to his senses. And by the way, disclaimer, he's a Malala, ni Amlala. Hey, ni Malala, bar Malala. So the point that I'm raising here is that we can't be short-sighted. We can't just look to our own retirement. Let us think about our kids. We don't want them to be starting things over and over again. We know the story is how it's going to end. This one will go this side, that one come this side, and they start fighting here. Why can't we, the citizen, say to ourselves, this country that we love very much cannot be built on lies of Rutos and Gashaguas and these other people and political conmanship that keep going back and forth. There has to be a decision that must be made by all of us to stand together on those ideals that will make us a country that has a future. Because right now, I don't see the future. They don't care about the economy past their pockets. Nobody's thinking about implications of our action at this moment into the future. Hakuna mtu anafikiria hizo. Now, our Chinese, they are making decisions for the next century now. They are building, and every other country in the world that is progressive, that is thinking ahead. Na sisi tunafanya nini? Tunapigania when actually we should have been in a different level. Now honor people like Malala now is in trouble. And he knew some of these things. All of a sudden, everybody's now smart. Ruto is bad. When did he become bad? When must he go? Were they looking for him? Were there some new thing that they've learned now that is different from what they knew? They knew all these things. Yes, Ruto must go. But the reason why it's going is the issue here. Because these guys, all they're looking for is to fill their pockets, to have power, but they don't want that power for the people. So to me, wananchi, we must, at the end of the day, we must take this power. Let's not move from one cent to the other. Tomorrow we are with this guy, next day we are there. We are just confusing Kenyans, especially some of us who are a little bit enlightened. Or because the more we are dilly-dallying, the more we are doing whatever we are doing, the West and the East are reaping. They're getting those prosperity they have in the West and others. They're from here. I remember during Idi Amin, the coffee boom, Karafu. Uganda was planting coffee, but in the Western Kenya, that's where the money landed. Kids were leaving school because they have so much money. When you don't have peace, even the little you have is taken away. Uganda was depleted. Money was fleeing. And that's what is happening in Kenya leo wakati huu. Unless we stop it. And who can stop it? This is Wananchi. Back to you, Bernard.
All right. Thank you, Lala, for that giving. And as we engage, is important that we all take a position that is worthwhile in terms of propelling the country to the right direction. It's no doubt that we have people who are determined to keep this country in the wrong place at all costs. It looks like our army, our police, and all the apparatus of security are not meant to protect the masses, but to protect the ills and the evils of those in power. And that is very disturbing, because I know that with the police, you are under command and you're commanded to do whatever you are required to do, and then you have to do. But that does not necessarily mean that you do everything and you do anything. I think what is being shown here is William Ruto flexing his muscle because he feels threatened by the position Kenyans have taken. There is a video, somebody, I think, if I find it, I'll play it, where somebody in, I think, Vihiga, tried to market Ruto, and they said because they have been given a sub-county, Ruto is the best, and so we will vote for him in 2027. And it was, I think, a funeral or something like that. And the people protested and said, "You're speaking on behalf of who? who are these people that are going to vote for Ruto?" He says, "You know, you should appreciate the president. He has given us a sub-county and all that." But the mamas and the people in the funeral rioted. They say, "No, with or without the sub-county, Ruto must go." And so what is being seen on the ground is that it appears William Ruto has lost favor with the Kenyans, and he has lost support from his own strongholds. And so he's hanging on the thread. And in his hanging on the thread, he only now has empty threats or wants to stay in power by force. How far can he stay in power by force? Does he have the muscle to force the 50+ million of us under his armpit and ensure that we will adhere to what he wants, no matter what we feel and what we think about what he's doing? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. As you join, please participate into the poll question. The poll question is simple. We are asking on the issue of fertilizer. Do you think Gachagua's revelations on Russian fertilizer requires a full investigation? The number one choice is yes, Kenyans deserve the truth, 72%. No, it is a political noise, 24%. And then only if backed with solid evidence, 4%. And so it appears here that 24% are thinking that it is political noise and not worth of airtime. But that is it. And we would wish everybody to defend their position. Na kama uko hapa na ungependa kuingia studio ukajadili na sisi, tumia hiyo link, ungie kwa studio ukaseme yako mawili matatu. Na wale wote mnatufuata kwa TikTok, kama una hoja yako, weka hapo kwa comments, tutaweza kushare na Wakenya wenzako ili tukaelewe ni kipi hiki kinachoendelea. Leo hii kumekuwa na drama, sio Nakuru peke yake, kumekuwa na drama nyingine Kirinyaga. wakati mbunge wa Gachagua alikwenda huko kwa matanga, alafu kufika huko kwa matanga ikawa father ama yule anaitwa na padri akasema hapa siasa hapana. Lakini huyo mbunge alipopewa nafasi ya kusalimia wananchi akatibua mambo, na ikawa sasa anachukuliwa juu aonyeshe njia alikotoka. So ningependa tutazame hiyo video alafu turejee kuchambua, kisha tuangazie masuala ya the army. Happy Lala kwa hapa atatuambia kama kile ambacho kimefanyika Mombasa leo kuteremsha jengo kitumia army and explosives kama iko sawa ama sio sawa. Let's hear this first. Kirinyaga drum.
Gachagua ndegũbota ukinya guku no waipa mwena family maboye-ini. Ukifanyiwa kazi na mtu hapana, achilia yeye. Wewe umefanyiwa kazi na Mushiru alafu unaachilia yeye. Watoto yake haiko kazi, kwake hakuna stima. Kama umeshindwa na kusaidia cheerleader, unani mwingine unaweza saidia? Acha niwaambie mambo na ile, acha nimalize fadha. Mimi ni wa Madera, hakuna mahali mnaweza nipeleka. Ukweli ni kwamba Rigathi Gachagua hajasaidia huyu mama, na hiyo ndio ukweli. Rigathi Gachagua hajasaidia huyu cheerleader, na kama amesaidia akuje aseme hapa amemsaidia na nini huyu mama, na hajamsaidia na kitu. Na sisi kama watu wa Madera hatuungi Rigathi Gachagua mkono, sababu aliachilia huyu mama, alimtumia akamwachilia. Madera hatuungi Rigathi Gachagua mkono, sababu aliachilia huyu mama, alimtumia akamwachilia. Hiyo ndio ukweli. Na sikize, sisi kama watu wa Madera hatuungi msimamo wa Rigathi Gachagua.
Okay, hayo yote yanaendelea katika mazishi ambako wanasiasa wameona wajibizane katika madai yao, na hiyo kwangu mimi haifai. Pili, kama uko na shida na Gachagua, uko na shida na fulani na wewe ndio mbunge wake, mbona usiende ukatatua huko? Unaenda kuibua mambo katika mazishi, alafu unahatarisha maisha ya wengi, kwa sababu hapo viti zingeanza kutembea kama ilivyo kawaida. Basi una wamama, kuna wakongwe, kuna watoto, na wote tunahatarisha. Kwa nini? Kuna ile hali ambayo viongozi wetu hawajibiki tena. Wanafikiria uongozi ni kupiga mdomo na kusema yale ambayo unafikiria yanafaa kusema. But everyone needs to weigh on what they are saying. think through before they voice it out, because there are consequences for everything that we say. Lala, you can weigh on that as we change gears.
You're talking about bringing down the building in Mombasa?
Not yet. This chaos at Kirinyaga over Gachagua, it appears the MP went against what the ground wants, and so he was frog-marched from the funeral.
Bernard, I didn't pay a lot of attention on that particular news, but chaos just shows that we have a problem, and the two, Ruto versus Gachagua, contest, which is not good for the country. So I don't know. I don't have much to say. I don't like both of them in terms of what they're doing to our country. I pray that we'll hold it together till the right thing is done, very soon, or as the right things are being done. That's all we can hope for. That by God's grace, we are still held together. We don't want to go Somalia way, people, because when things start going down, they really go bad very quickly. And it's very, very hard, based on the history, to get back to where we can be a nation that is very, very functional in a short time. And we know that for fact. So and that's why I think raising our voices, we need all these voices. Let's not be tired in calling out these people, because clearly Gachagua and Ruto have not, there's really nothing new that they're bringing into the system, especially they're finding an environment where there's not much can be done. Growth or leadership or a functional system depend on the grace. I call it the grace of God, where everything is working together. We saw that with the first Kibaki. We've seen that with Obama when he came to power. Things are working, and that way your leadership can be felt. But right now, whatever's going on, it just shows the chaos. I don't think they know where they're going. Ruto and Gachagua, it's all about themselves, about power. They talk about really, when you hear people start campaigning for 2027 and the rest of the years, then the question is, what are we doing now? What should we be doing now at this moment? So those people have no ideas. They're shameful, and I think we gotta call them out for what they're doing to the country. And of course, we saw the Muranga is sign of confusion. It's just the contest between the two people, and the people are suffering at wananchi. Yeah, so that's what I would say, about what you shared with us regarding the MP and Gachagua. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you for that. Let me play that Mombasa video, and then you can also weigh on the same. Ladies and gentlemen, kama unakuja studio wai mapema. Kama kutakuja basi tutaanza kufungasha, lakini cha muhimu ni ukweli usemwe na ukweli usimamiwe. Hatuwezi kuwa na nchi ya uongo kila mara.
Now, in a groundbreaking operation, an 11-story building in Mombasa was brought down in a controlled demolition on Wednesday afternoon, marking a first of its kind in the country. Carried out by the Kenya Defence Forces, the demolition took place at Kilifi Corner after the building, which had begun sinking and tilting last week, posed a significant public safety risk. Tragically, one fatality has been confirmed following the collapse of the first floor a week ago. Now, in response, the county government has suspended the inspectors linked to the project while assuring that Coast General Hospital will reopen on Friday. Olive Burrows has the full story of the evacuation, the demolition, and the aftermath.
It was a spectacle you were best advised to view from a distance. The bringing down of an 11-story building by controlled demolition. In its wake, plumes of smoke up close. There was shattered glass, debris, and a vacuum where it once stood. A success in the estimation of the authorities, given no human casualties were reported as a result of the demolition.
Nyumba ambayo kwamba iliweza kuumia peke yake ni nyumba iliyoweza kugusana.
That said, it came at a cost to the residents who were forced to evacuate their homes and abandon their livelihoods. A safety perimeter of 1.2 kilometers having been established and which covered, among other facilities, the Coast General Hospital, Marikiti Market and Nyali Bridge, on which traffic was temporarily disrupted on Wednesday. The demolition was carried out in the interest of preserving human life after the building located at Kilifi Corner in Fayaz estate off Abdel Nasser Road began to sink and tilt a week ago and claimed alive.
Mwanamume ambaye kwamba jina lake anaitwa Yusuf Ali Abdi alikuwa katika jumba lile, na baada madakika kuingia katika jumba lile ndo jumba likawa lenye kuanguka.
Mwanzo county government, police, kila mtu tuendelee, maisha yaendelee mbele bwana. Ukija Nairobi bwana, magorofa zinaanguka juu ya watu na tunatoa maiti. Si jameni, simuone hata hakuna maiti, tushukuru Mungu. But hii mambo ya kushikanisha na nini isikue ni sababu ati mtu amefanya deliberate jameni. So kama nikushikwa niko tayari nishikwe. Nitapambana bwana.
While there may not have been fatalities as a result of the demolition, its effects continue to ripple, with livelihoods disrupted, property damaged and families forced out of their homes.
If there's any neighbor which we need to talk, if it's really aggrieved or this thing, let us talk in humanitarian, because tayari mandugu zangu wako hospitali. Mtu kama ameumia ni wale developers ambao hawana hatia.
A crisis averted, the county government's focus now shifts to those affected by the demolition as the public demands not only answers but accountability.
The building had initially been approved for 6 floors, then was extended for 11 floors. There were works that happened in this building without the supervision of an engineer. Then after the project was complete, a soak pit was dug inside the building, compromising the foundation and compromising the soils where the building sits.
I don't want any threats from any institution of government. This was not due to structural inadequacy, but rather an unexpected geotechnical shift in the act of God, beyond human foresight and control. Mtu hawezi kuweka milioni 300 karibu imeisha na atangusha.
The county governor setting a timeline of 2 weeks for a task force established to investigate the circumstances leading up to the demolition, to make recommendations, with all approvals for building extensions suspended pending verification.
The contractor of that particular site, the engineer, the architect, were involved in any other work in Mombasa stand suspended. All the county government building inspectors, by being entrusted that they're the ones who went to the ground, until the verification is confirmed that what they signed is what is actually on the ground, they are to be sent on compulsory leave.
For us to end the issues of collapse, it's important that all people who are culpable are punished.
Olive Burrows, Citizen TV.
Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Madai tofauti yanatolewa kuhusu hilo jengo. Mara kulikuwa na kuchimbwa tena, kukawa na interference. Mara the approved building was to be 6-story and now it was grown to 11-story. The owner of the building, whom I'm assuming that former member of parliament for Embakasi South, is now saying it was the shift of the ground underneath the building, which was an act of God and has no human foresight or human control. Lala, what is your take on this?
Bernard, there are several areas I like to comment on. The very first one is the fact that a building of that size can continue to go up without proper care, right people making right decisions. That to me actually highlights the problem of corruption in Kenya. In other words, it's not just politics, but it is getting in each and every institution where it's about making money. Build a building quickly and you make money. I lived in Japan and I pray that our engineers should go there. In Japan, a small building takes a lot of time to be built because there is also the earthquakes that are there in that country, and so everything is done to precision. And in fact, I noticed that because I see a building, it takes such a long time till whatever is dry, settled before they make another step. And in the beginning, I thought these guys are just lazy, not building this thing quickly. But I was told because the kind of place, the Japan, they got to building that can withstand the shaking, the earthquake, the tremors, and the rest of it. And you can see them taking one step at a time and doing the right kind of thing. In Kenya, just like the police standing on the roadside to collect money, so the driver has to make a choice. Do I repair my tire? Do I repair something important, or do I give the police? Because even if you do it, they will take the money. So a lot of drivers, owners of the vehicles, they choose to give the bribe, which means maisha ya watu iko hatarini. Is really dangerous. And so it is by the grace of God that we don't die on those roads when actually those guys are there to collect money. And the evidence is there because these police officers on the matatus, what they own is unbelievable. And if you do any audit, forensic audit of what people owe, a lot of those guys should have been convicted. But you know what? We don't see, don't ask, don't tell. And now we see it in the building. Okay? So that's one level. Number two, the military is the right organization to do that job. So there I say to the government, they did the right thing. Even in this country, if the military corps engineers, if the military are the one responsible for the bridges, buildings, they actually the standard, organization or unit that makes sure that everything is safe and secure. Okay, so for them to go and do it, I think is okay. And of course, when you do something like that, other buildings would probably get some damage. But if the focus is to make these buildings, strong and making sure that those are infected and made right, then I would no problem. Because what we need is a safe building where you can go and sleep and stay, till tomorrow. And by the way, we talk about tourism. Do you know those are some of the things they look at when they're coming to a country? What are the building codes? Okay, are they well, built? Okay, so these are these some of the things that can stop, us from, getting a good, income from tourism. A country like Spain, perhaps, has got more tourists than the entire African continent. I think if you do the figures there, because people feel they're safe, they're going there, And of course, these are perceptions that people have, but there are things we can do to improve that perception. So in my mind, the Army Corps engineers are the right people to do such kind of work, but with study. There has to be proper study, not this, in Kenya, we like copying things, but they are fake. You hear of parliament, but the parliament is fake. You hear of elections are fake, they're never true. You hear of exams are fake. I'm a counselor, and I bet some people here who are drunk from Kenya. They're telling me how they stole the exams. Their parents stole for them exams. I bet here I'm listening to this is what really happened. So we are from a country that does not care about standards, about the law, about adherence to the rules, play by the right rules, or play by the rules. And this is the reason why what is going on in Kenya with a building like that, and it's as if we should have learned the way buildings have been falling in Nairobi. We've not. And one time I came over there and I called, I talked to some important guy, and this important guy told me, because I was asking about standards, what is it? In fact, I was being about zoning. And zoning is a process where you make sure that buildings are put in a place where the roads are able to handle the traffic. The building have parking garage, things like that. If there's a disaster, people can be evacuated to the hospital. Things can go on well. But in Kenya, the zoning is abused because if I'm rich, I have money, I will keep on building because I want to make money in that small piece of land. And so you find that congestion. So if there's a major disaster, it is so hard to take you to the hospital because there are no roads, that will take you out. There are no rails. So everything will actually go, I would call it a cardiac arrest, because people don't think in terms of how do we, in case of danger, how do we mitigate the dangers of the disaster? Okay, so these are some of the factors that are critical when you look at the way we do things. But at the end of the day, it's the corruption, and they start with the political leadership, because that's at the top of the chain is political leadership. So if you have con people, if you ever voted because somebody gave you money, if you ever voted because you're from your tribe, you're an enemy of Kenya. You're an enemy of progress. If you take advantage of other Kenyans, then you are just as criminal as Ruto. So you may say Ruto must go. The question is just, you should go. No wonder even the children of Israel, when they left Egypt, nearly all of them did not reach the promised land. Only 2 people, Joshua and Caleb. Even Moses had to die in the wilderness because they would bring pollution to this new land. Some of us, we may have to go before we can get a new brand of people to go in there. The sad thing is that we are poisoning those young people. They are even getting worse because they have nothing to learn from. You may disagree with the colonizers, Wazungu au Makaburu. They were very bad, but there's some things they did well. Professionalism, right person, doing the right job, they did that. Yes, they belittle us. Yes, they were there to the nyaswa sana. That is true. That's the bad side. But there are some things they did right, which I think, I'm sorry to say that some of us will go below the Mzungu. Kaburu, how? We will rank worse than them, especially if you're an African. You benefited, from some of these institutions, and then ukifika huku sasa, you don't care about education, you don't care about standards. You build a building and people die, and you keep on taking it up to make money. That's exactly what happened. This is what is wrong with the country. We may pretend Ruto must go. Yes, Ruto has to go. But also you yourself, Kenyans themselves, must stand on truth and do that which is right. And demand it. Demand it in your neighborhood. Demand it. You should not take anything. Demand it to pay people right. Do the right thing. And I think that's the way to go. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lala. We appreciate following due process, the surest way to get things done and, of course, secure the lives thereof. Kenyans, we need to run away from this attitude and mindset of shortcuts and then the use of money to violate the rules. There is a reason why there is the architect board or whatever, the board of engineers. There is a reason why engineering is a study that everybody needs to go through the entire process. This aspect of going for shortcuts is costing us too much. You saw how that magnificent building came down. All of it because somebody probably did not follow due process and kept on building and building and building without appreciating that there is a due process in ensuring that the foundation, the deeper the foundation determines how high the building will go. You don't just come up and say, I like more stories, so add 1, add 2, add 3, and do that. Let's run away from these shortcuts, especially when it comes to buildings. I will forgive you for every other thing, but please, on the buildings, just go around Nairobi, Eastlands, and all that. You can see there is a standard size of the staircase. Somebody will just squeeze that staircase and is building a permanent building deliberately when there is a standard size of the staircase. And then he squeezes that thing because he just wants to add a few inches of the rooms, or he wants to multiply the number of rooms per floor. And so he squeezes that particular staircase, and so the navigation to the house is problematic. And it is done when you know you're doing a permanent building. Follow due process, do what is right, and everything will work out. But this aspect of to vunje hii, to lete hii, to toe hii, to fanye hile, to me it's uncalled for, and we should not toy with the same. I really want us to begin to wind up unless I get more people to join. But I think so far we have done justice to the discussion. The issue of the fertilizer is not going anywhere. Probably this is the stroke that will break the camel's back. The William Ruto administration is in bad shape, and just with a little push, we may just succeed in getting William Ruto to go. And so let's remain focused. There is this short clip from Traore I want us to share with us as part of the message to the rest of Africa. And we begin to appreciate this kind of leaders. He's young, he is focused, and he is determined in ensuring that his country does not, continue with business as usual. He's breaking away from the status quo, and he wants a country that is for the people, by the people, and the government officials are the servants of the people. We can't ask for anything more than that. The day we succeed in making all the PSs, all the CSs, all the president and politicians, the servants of the people, will get it right in this country. But as long as we're looking up to them as the bosses, as the owner of everything, and as we don't own anything, we continue cultivating and feeding the snake that will swallow us. So Kenyans, let's wake up and say no to bad leadership. Let's just listen to this clip, and thereafter we'll wind up.
They will tell us, Thomas Sankara tried to do it like this, but where is he? He is dead. The Haitian president, he tried to do it like this. Where is he? He is dead. Gaddafi tried like this. Where is he? He is dead. These are the veiled statements made to us to instill fear. And then we also often see some young people trying to follow in the footsteps in a different way. You can hear them say, such a person ruled like this, he has the sepulchre. Such a person ruled like this, he is in prison. All this to try to scare us, to make us cowards. I think they haven't understood something. When we say the homeland or death, we shall overcome, it's not just a phrase, it has its full meaning. We are not afraid and we will never be afraid. We will continue our struggle. They have undoubtedly and surely scared numerous African heads of state. You often see when we speak or when we have the opportunity to be in certain situations abroad, we often make statements to call on African heads of state to wake up, take care of our youth, to be able to initiate our real development.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. When will we get this kind of leadership that is resistant to undue pressure from wrong sources and clearly focused on the well-being of the masses, that in your voice, in your heart, in your passion, is see a country that is free, see a country that is self-reliant, a country that is self-dependent. I think this is what we have lost in Kenya, because in Kenya, we look at government as an opportunity to make yourself rich, as an opportunity to make money. We have lost the vision for the country, the vision for the masses, and we look at the masses just as voting machines and not a people that you can go to bed and have a sleepless night because you're worried that those children that were born last night, where will they get medical care? After a few years, they will need a school. Where are those schools? After that school, they will need a university. Where are those universities? After graduation, they will need a job. Where are industries to assimilate these people as workers? So I think Kenya needs to go back to the drawing board and we wake up with this vision for the country. Forget all this vision for manifesto. What is your vision for the country? What kind of Kenyans do you want to see? Where do you want to see Kenya 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now? If we don't get those visionary leaders, we are doomed as a people. And it's very regrettable that we are still fighting over UDA, ODM, and Azimio and Kenya Kwanza when the whole country is in a mess and we see it in a mess. It's just like this building. The building begins to sink and we continue to encourage ourselves that everything will be all right. Nothing is going to be all right until we all wake up and realize somebody is taking us in the wrong place. And the wrong place is where we are safeguarding our political parties, we are safeguarding our regional places, we are safeguarding our tribal and community people at the expense of the entirety of the country. We can't be safe when only one part of the country is okay. Kenya, for all Kenyans, is something we must push for. Until we realize it, we are not out of the woods yet. Thank you. Lala, you can weigh on that as we begin to wind up.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you for sharing Traore's remarks. I think you raised the issue is, where are we going to have leaders like Traore? We have them. We have him. We have Traore. He's our leader. He's the African leader. He is a soldier, disciplined. He is there not because he wants to be a leader. In fact, reluctantly, he's still holding that office. It's more of an interim. That's how he sees himself. So he's not there for his own interest, but he's there for the people of Burkina Faso and all of us in Africa. And his background in geology is really important because it helps us understand and manage our resources and help mitigate natural hazards, inform sustainable development and practice, and help human activities based on the land that we have. So somehow God has prepared him to not only to understand us as a soldier, but also to understand the earth on which we stand, Africa as a continent, and what holds us, the earth, the soil, the ground, which will have ultimately be the one that will help us sustain or develop, all of us, all our children. So God has given us this man for that purpose. Thank God he's fluent in English because it's always good to hear him speak to Africa. He's fluent in French, which means Francophone can hear him, and English world, African English world can also hear him, because you see, when you have a translator, some things are lost. But this guy is fluent in both languages, which is really good. So we thank God for him. And the best thing that we can do is to follow his example. Let us hate corruption. Let us abhor tribalism. And let us look at what we have in Africa, what the soil has. Let's not give it out. There's a time when I could see even Moi would give elephants, lions, and others as gifts. I think when he came to the US, he brought some gifts to the zoos in America. But you see, China has those little pandas, okay? They never sell them. What they do, they come from China with a group of them or troop from China. They visit every city in the US and you pay tons of money. And at the end of the tour, they've collected the money. The animals go back to China with them. They already made money, okay? But for us, we just give things, okay? If you go to every small part of the US, you find lions, you find the zoo, or the zebras and all these things. And those don't belong to us. If it was Kenya coming even in Ohio to have a little zoo where Americans can visit and pay the money, and those zoos belong to us, we have young people that we can train to take care of those animals. And so they come as our guests. But you see, what we've done, we give them these animals. So we don't know what we have, the value it has to the world. We only love to give it out. So we are not smart enough. Traore is telling us to do the opposite. So if we can learn from someone like Traore, it's for us to be able to manage our land, and anything that comes out of that land, we keep it. And I'm telling you, it's going to work. A place like Ohio, which is one of the states in the US, Ohio alone, the GDP of Ohio, go check it out. It's bigger than Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa, and all those put together, okay? And even Congo, all together, just the GDP of this space. So if we have our own little zoo in Ohio, okay, and Americans come in here, that's enough to finance our education system, create job back home. There is so much that we can do. Instead, we are doing politics of Malalas and Rutos and Gachaguas and the rest of those guys. Okay, so there's a lot of possibilities that we can things that we can invest in to help us. So as we end, I'm an admirer of this young man. It could have been my son. Okay, that's how young he is. But it's not about age, it's about what is upstairs. The wisdom, the knowledge, and brave, and being able to stand, take a step, and stand for something. And that's the way to fight. It's not a time for Africa to fight against Africans. These politicians, the tribals, fight when actually we are such a small economy, so little, so small. It's a time, as I end, when Tyson went to fight. Is I think one of those title fights. I think the price tag was $250 million. That was like 1/10. I mean, it was a quarter of our budget, Kenya total budget at that time. In other words, Tyson could actually offset 1/4 of our economy in one fight. That tells us, that we are still not even anywhere where somebody can notice us, because we don't appear. Only maybe our runners can come up and we see those are Kenyans. But when it comes to financial development and growth and all that, we are way, way below the radar. And we can do it if Kenyans agree, as citizens, to get rid of this small talks, this rotten guys, these people who don't think. If we can show them that we are better, that we are ready, that we can do what it takes to bring Kenya to the place where it should be at this time in history. So thank you all. Let's keep talking and let's keep on doing the right thing. Back to you, Bernard. Asante.
Exactly. Thank you, Lala. We appreciate that. And as a people, let's rethink. Let's rethink. This hands off, and this is for those people to do. Attitude must be dropped. Let's shoulder the responsibility of recovering this country. I want to end with sharing Kumekucha's analysis of the situation in the country, just to bring you up to speed. And thereafter, we want to remind us the conversation continues. Please support the channel and ensure that we have enough resources to keep running this place, and of course, keep informing you. And then help us by subscribing, help us by rewatching the show even when it is done. There are those of you who are now joining us when we are closing. So you just give it a minute or so, and then the show will be ready for you to rewatch. And when you find anything worthwhile, share it out to others. There are also other videos we upload. We depend on you. You are our support system. If you fold your hands and do nothing, we continue going down and ending. So please, let's take responsibility. And to change this country, it's just one person at a time, one word at a time, one action at a time. So we don't have to all have explosives everywhere. We just need to focus and keep doing the right thing. About the Malala issue at Nakuru, let's keep our eyes open. And in case you are in Nakuru and the environs, please watch out. Things are not okay with a desperate administration. So watch out. And the girls and the boys that are participating into the drama festival, also be vigilant, keep safe. The journalists as well. We have a delicate country, but by God's grace, we should be able to navigate through this dark corner and emerge on the other side a better people. Learn from all that you can learn from, grow your understanding of the situations, and that is the sure way for us to, tackle life as we should, and of course, profit from the same. Let's hear out what Kumekucha sees on this fact of was cooking in the Ruto administration.
Samoei Ruto to continue. Why exactly is it impossible for President William Samoei Ruto to continue as president of Kenya? Why? I mean, state machinery, he's still the president. Constitutionally, he's still the president. What are these analysts talking about? Including Kumekucha Chris. Ati Ruto can't continue now. Ati has reached the end. What are you talking about, Chris? Well, let us answer that question without beating about the bush. Let us face that question head on. Okay? Reason number one, there is something a president needs, a leader anywhere needs, in order to be able to carry out their duties effectively, in order to be able to have subjects under him or her, and for those people to obey them and respect the authority and obey the authority and the office. And it is something that is often overlooked, but is critical, because it touches on human nature, and that is moral authority. President Ruto has lost the moral authority to be president of Kenya. Okay? What do I mean? Well, one example straight away. If Ruto appears tomorrow and starts talking about fighting corruption, what will be your reaction? What will be the reaction of Kenyans? You tell me. The explosive expose by former AG and also former CS, Justin Muturi, dealt a major blow on the moral authority of Ruto to continue being president of Kenya. Because he talked a lot about corruption. And not corruption just anywhere. Corruption in the office of the president. In fact, some people are saying State House is a crime scene. That is serious. Oh, it is so serious. More serious than many of us may imagine. Reason number two, by the way, the last reason, is the final straw. But we're going to get to it very soon. Reason number two, and this will be terribly hard for Ruto to deal with. You see, in the expose, in this information that has been given to Kenyans by Rigathi Gachagua and earlier by Bwana Muturi, some of it touches on leaders of the past in Kenya, including immediate former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now, you just imagine for a minute, if you're Uhuru Kenyatta, what would you do? Of course, you defend yourself. And what is the best way of defending yourself? The best way of defending yourself is to distance yourself from that scandal. And the only way you can do that is by presenting evidence. I'm sure you get what I'm saying. Of course, admittedly, the other option for a past president is to be able to join the current president so that together they defend themselves. But that would not be the right option in this instance. That would be suicide in this instance, because it is clear to everybody that Ruto is going down. And if you see a ship going down, would you dare want to be on that ship? No. You distance yourself. Therefore, this is going to be a huge challenge to Ruto going forward. And any of his handlers who may still be daydreaming that this crisis, they can get over it. It will be very difficult. Reason number three, and this one is very deadly. Some of the information we have gotten, which also foreign powers have gotten, is that Kenya has been actively involved in the affairs of another nation. Indeed, in an ongoing crisis in Sudan. And to make matters worse, we are now being told that the RSF people, the rebels in that country fighting against the Sudan army, are getting their supply of arms via Kenya, via Mombasa port. Bottom line, this crisis would have been a lot more easy to deal with if it was only local. But when you start touching on other sovereign countries, everything changes, because it means that other powerful nations in the West have a reason to intervene. To intervene to do what? To intervene to stop those arms going to that nation and fueling the conflict, solving that crisis in that nation. And how do you do that? You do that by ensuring that the arms no longer come through Kenya. And how do you do that? You do that by being involved in a regime change. Yeah, you might want to set up a caretaker government in that country. You might want to help to set up a caretaker government in that country. Whatever. But bottom line, it means that more and more countries in the international community will not want to recognize Ruto as president of Kenya. Indeed, if you've been very observant, you'll already have noticed that foreign trips for the president have vanished. Have you asked yourself why? It is because countries find it difficult. Yeah, it's a diplomatic goof to host Ruto. Why? Because of the problems, the shakiness of his government in Kenya. Because if that country hosts Ruto, what will happen tomorrow or whenever a new regime comes into power? They might look at that country as sympathetic to the previous regime. Yeah, and therefore there, hapo, Ruto amechoma kuchoma. He has a huge, huge problem there. And now the final reason, which is the clincher, and it is actually only 3 words. Finance Bill 2025. Hey! You know how somebody can attempt to milk a cow which is already dead? Hey, that is exactly the situation in Kenya with Finance Bill 2025. The economy is dead. Kenyans are struggling. And then the government, which has no money, does not have any other option but to increase taxes, introduce new taxes into a dead economy. And therefore, it is very easy to predict how Kenyans are going to react to any suggestion by this government to increase taxes or to introduce new taxes, especially after the information we have received from Wamunyoro and Muturi about how people have been looting public funds from public coffers in the country called Kenya. How very senior government officials, the rulers in our country, have been looting motherland Kenya. So Finance Bill 2024 forced the events of June 2024. Parliament was breached, Gen Z protests took off like a rocket, etc., etc. Now Finance Bill 2025. Finance Bill 2025. Hey, let me just leave it there. Hey, let me not say anything more. I know the question on everybody's mind. What will now happen next? Okay? Actually, it is possible to very accurately predict what will happen next, and especially the response of the executive in this matter. You know, I have a special report which is based on information from experts. It lays bare the character of President Ruto and why he behaves the way he does. Yeah? And why there's so many lies involved here. Actually, it's a condition. Yeah? More details in that special report. Okay, it is still available. You can see details on your screens right now. Actually, it is a stack of my most sensitive, highly sensitive videos. It also includes the high-tech assassination of John Pombe Magufuli, former president of Tanzania. This stack of highly sensitive videos, you cannot afford to miss. Okay, so please rush. This offer is there only for a very brief period of time. Use those details you see on the screens right now. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.
But the unthinkable happened. Police opened fire on unarmed demonstrators, killing over 20, injuring many, and leaving others unaccounted for. Frank was among the victims, hit by 6 bullets, yet by God's grace, he survived. After a series of life-saving surgeries, Frank can now walk again. But the bullets left a lasting impact. He can no longer perform heavy-duty jobs to support his grandmother. And their iron sheet home, deep in the slum, is inaccessible by vehicles. In case of a medical emergency, help is far out of reach. To make matters worse, the slum is plagued by insecurity, with daily cases of muggings and robberies. Despite all these challenges, Frank dreams of finishing his education, learning a trade, and building a better life for his grandmother, the woman who has stood by him through every storm. This is where we need your help. In the short term, we aim to move Frank and his grandmother to a safer home where they can access medical care and live without constant fear. Long term, we want to support Frank in completing his education, learning a profitable skill, and starting a small business. I've faced so much, but I'm still standing. I want to work hard, take care of my grandmother, and make her proud. I just need a chance. You can be the change in Frank's life. Every contribution, big or small, will go a long way in helping this brave young man and his grandmother rebuild their lives. Let's come together and help Frank fulfill his God-given destiny. God bless you. Send your donations to Sound Candid Talk, support Frank Okoth account. The link is in the description below. Together, we can make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video widely, and stay tuned for more inspiring stories on Sound Candid Talk.
Watu wa Mungu, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kipindi cha mahubiri kimerudi tena kwa kishindo kwenye Sound Candid Talk. Tunakufundisha, kukuelimisha na kukutia moyo kwenye Daily Bite. Mafundisho kamili ya Biblia kila siku kwenye runinga uipenda ya Sound Candid Talk.
you